30,000 likes and I'll do another 100 days episode. As every Disney princess has said before in their own movies, I wonder what it's like to survive in a zombie apocalypse. Just like them though, I could probably do it as well. So I got my friend Sierra to surprise me with a mod pack. I have no knowledge of what I'm getting into. The only thing I know is that I need to be careful with notch zombies. They can say hi to me with one hit. My goal for the next 100 days is to create a zombie-proof base that I can easily survive in, create Spartan armor, craft a Rudy Tooty point and shooty, and say hi to a notch zombie. Before we begin, I have merch. I spent a long time with my friend Weekaboo, and we came up with a store that I think you'll all love. I have some limited edition 200,000 subscriber special merch, which will only be there for 1 week. After that, it's gone forever. Just go to skies.store or the link in the description to check it out. Also, I put over 100 hours into my videos. YouTube tells me that only 17% of you are subscribed. It's free and it would mean a lot to me if you could hit the subscribe button. Now, let's begin. I named my seed something true, and as one does, I woke up randomly in the middle of a city. For this mod pack, I have to watch out for my temperature and thirst. Both can kill me. So I can't really sprint around anywhere, but I have to get wool armor fast so I can stay warm. Majority of the city was winter for me. Luckily, I spawned in with an enchanted diamond sword and a house spawn so I can get started fast. I got to exploring and tried to find string and sheep for wool. I figured the zombies would hurt me a lot, so I snuck around everywhere. There was no friendly faces, so I figured I was in New York City. I borrowed some supplies from a store and I was off to a nice start. The locals came to say hi to me, so I knew this wasn't New York City. I then said hi to a child, looted some more, and then drank some bacteria-filled puddle water. Yummy. I made a bed, so you already know I won. Sierra told me that nighttime was insanely hard, so I was going to sleep insanely well. Said hi to some sheep and fell asleep in the streets. I teased a local the next day for being trapped behind glass, then went and said hi to my homie G's. While catching up with them though, I heard some gunshots. I didn't realize that there were other survivors. I quickly ran away since I figured he could kill me in one shot. Then I ran back to see if I could find him and take his gun. I couldn't find him. But I did find a lot of Steves, who didn't try to hurt me, so I felt safe here. I spent the remainder of the day crafting some water bottles. I found something I've never seen before in my life. A tunnel. I wanted to see where it would go, so I followed the minecart tracks. Except apparently this tunnel hasn't been used in at least 49 years because of how dusty it is. It was just sand, and you guessed it, stone walls. I filled up my inventory with so much sand and I was getting bored, so I left the tunnel and just like in real life, I got hurt from the light. I robbed this blacksmith and got an enchanting table. Then I continued my tomfoolery and robbed a library. They say knowledge is power and I was feeling really powerful after the library robbery. So I found some chickens and they donated some food to me. Very generous. I wanted to get out of the city though. I don't feel safe with how vulnerable I am in here. I found this staircase that was trying to keep me out, so I entered it and said hi to some sheep. I finished my wool armor and might I say, I look mad cute. You probably realize this, but as a penguin, I'm not sure why I need wool clothing though for the cold. It's like a fish needing scuba gear for the ocean. I said hi to the boys and robbed another library. Was feeling great. I kept on running forward and I'm starting to think that there is no end to the city. I collected some penguin food and found a nice open area to start my base. I took the express route and cleared out the roof insanely well. It was time to use my Insta house and I chose a nice looking modern house. To your surprise, the Insta house built itself instantly. It also had an express route to the Grim Reaper. I got settled in and organized. And I finished getting organized this day. It's time to finally explore the surrounding buildings. I upgraded the Grim Reaper's express and got to exploring. I only have wool on, so everything can still hurt me tremendously. I found the most passive skeleton ever and noticed how natural my house looks. Nothing weird there. Santa Claus broke into my house and it was time to mine. I would need a lot of different minerals to make my armor and Rudy Tooty point and shooty. To my luck, I went straight into a cave, which had a lot of minerals that I needed. I tried to return home at night, but this skeleton was looking at me cute and wanted to go out. I saw some old dude and child say hi to one of my boys. It was such a heartwarming experience. Then this child thought that I was Philza. I'll take it as a compliment. I went mining again and found some uranium. Copper? Okay. I found my first diamonds in a safe pit and then quickly returned home before that skeleton can come ask me out again. Day 9 was special. I spent half of it smelting all the ores and weird copper that I got and looked around at what I could craft. I would need a lot of minerals. Then, something that I didn't know as penguins could do, I got hypothermia. I tried running around but nothing would warm me up. I started to get worried because zombies could detect me from a mile away now because I'm bleeding. I needed fire to warm up and the only place that had it was down there with the zombies, which also didn't work to warm me up, so I relogged into my world and got to work. Finally, warming up after a rough night, and I was finally able to fall asleep. I went back in my hobbit hole and searched for some gravel. I need to make a flint and steel to survive in the cold now. While mining, I realized how unprotected I am. Multiple times I've encountering skeletons, and the Grim Reaper thought he would be giving me a visit. After those fun encounters, I returned home and put on my new armor next to a fireplace. I accidentally removed my water elevator while trying to drink from it, so that was fun. Then I collected my bed and it was time to go mining. I realized while down there that I don't get cold. It might be smart for me to build my base down here instead. I was just minding my business, as one does, then Spider-Man came by and spooked about 23 years off of my life. After that crisis, my massive brain figured out that the temperature on this mod pack is with height, like real life. So I'm just going to defeat one of the difficulties in this mod pack and live underground. I love loopholes. I made the grandest of grand staircases down the finest diorite that I didn't want. I went back to the sky house to get my items, but of course, I had to warm up because I'm a penguin and cold hurts me. It's time to treat this cave better than my repressed memories and open it up. I also practiced my drum solo with this child's forehead and also tried my absolute best at making the stairs pretty. Looks fantastic. I was mining my way down to the bottom floor, but I kept on hearing music popping off. A little bit later, I found a party that I wasn't invited to. Reminded me of high school and scared me off. It was time to do every teenager's favorite thing and clean up. I collected some saplings to make an underground tree farm, froze in my sky house, and made an infinite sippy water pool in the floor that I walk on. Yummy. Said hi to the Backstreet Boys today, man. Said hi to some cows. A zombie piglin liked my cut G, and then the default boys liked the zombie piglin's waves. I escaped from the sun afterwards since it scares me still. I was expanding my base some more until the skeleton spawned out of nowhere and scared 39 years off of my life. I loved them. But the happy fun go times couldn't end there. I got jump scared by another skeleton, then shortly after that, I got peekabooed by a zombie. I'm starting to think that James Wan created this cave. To your surprise, I cleared out more of the underground bunker today, and found a lot of zombies below my floor. I'll just leave them for later since I'll be older, therefore wiser, and I'll handle it better. I miss that weird bright thing in the sky, whatever it's called, so I explored the city. Except, nothing fun happened. Not much to do in New York City, I guess. Said hi to a weirdo child the next day and explored some buildings. Night fell and I was about to fall asleep until I acquired hypothermia. Fun! Except, no matter how many fires I would place down, I just couldn't warm up. Apparently, burning out the steak ain't enough. With the entire city zombies force on me now, it was time to escape. I quickly got out of there and the sun began to rise. I explored a tiny bit more, but was getting bored. I explored enough of our capital for today, so I returned to my gremlin hole. I didn't explore enough yet, so I went out, but it's time for a minigame. How many times can I forget my bed at home and have to make a new one? Yeah, I spent this entire day looking for string to make a bed instead of going back 100 blocks to get my bed, which I did make. Now, I'm not sure why, but I don't think this room is safe for me to enter. Just a feeling though, I'm probably wrong. Microsoft can definitely take notes here. This is how you make a lobby. Completely filled with water so no one can enter. And then I found him, another survivor, who wanted to shoot me for some reason. Full brought a gun to a bow fight though, so I won and got my first gun without having to craft it. With a death promoter and a full inventory, it was time to return home. Some buildings have chests with loot, but a majority of the city was empty sadly. I made it back home and got organized. Like a true pacifist, I got a taste of American freedom. I went mining for more minerals to create some guns. Like the rainforest, I was running out of wood. It was time to make an underground tree farm so I don't have to return to that bright thing in the sky to collect wood. With the general room open, I began to lay down the dirt layer, except I ran out and had to borrow some from my base without asking. I don't think I'll mind. With the destruction to acquire dirt from my base, I had to make it look like a mirror and beautify the place. Then I finished my dirt flooring and had to be a rock star and raise the roof. While raising the roof, I kept on hearing more and more zombies coming closer to my location. So just like what I did with my ex, I covered up all of the doorways with concrete so they couldn't enter my life. Then got back to removing the ceiling. With the room almost complete, I'm actually out of wood. I need this tree farm up really soon or I'll have to go back to the surface and that'd be awful. But luckily with my plot armor, I finished the farm and began collecting a lot of wood and tending to my farm. Now I have unlimited food and wood. Oh, and apparently I didn't make the roof high enough. Some of the trees can break the ceiling. Now as any sane person during a zombie apocalypse would, I used my endless supplies to beautify my base and make it luxurious. It was fantastic. And with my stairs being entirely made out of wood, I wasn't done flexing my wealth. I'm going to make the border in my farm out of wooden logs. Now for the walls. I don't want it to look too much like a cave anymore, but I want to keep using rock blocks. Apparently, word got out that I'm a daycare. Didn't know that, so I I said hi to this little gremlin. I thought he came from the ladder, so I made a secure entrance for it. Now, don't worry everyone, it's time to spice things up and go back outside. I went to see the neighbors again and played MC Hammer Can't Touch This with them. I got some amazing loot. Now, to show off how well my plot armor works. I nearly died to these first group of skeletons, but I wasn't done toying with death, and I went down to 1.5 hearts with the next skeleton group. It was too much fun. Oh man, caught hypothermia again. I found a meteor crash site and thought this section was beautiful, so I wanted to show all of you. I said hi to some cows a bit later on and showed this cow his auntie. I found 3 notch zombie health bars and really wanted to fight them, but I couldn't find them at all. Then the IRS found me in a building and I quickly escaped back to my house and got organized. And it's time to work on the house again. I want to use diorite for something and I figured the ceiling might be good, but I don't know how I feel about it. But I am using andesite for the floors. More $1 million house renovations today, nothing exciting. Now don't worry, I changed the diorite for stone since diorite is just unusable and ugly. And while I was cleaning up my base, I finally found the location to one of the spots that had zombies that wouldn't quiet down. Except when I explored it, I didn't find any enemies at all. It was like a free shopping trip for minerals. Until I met this dude. Let's call him Johnny. Little gremlin was asking for it. He stole my granite that I had a surplus of. And the one thing we've all been waiting for? More house cleaning. I was still changing out the entire ceiling for stone. It's looking so fancy now. After preparing in a super intense and fun way, it was time to go back into the mines. I barely explored it last time, but yet again, there were no enemies. I don't know if they mistook the 6 feet for 6 miles, but there were no enemies down here at all. I'm not complaining though. It was enjoyable to space out and collect minerals. It was so peaceful down here that I fell asleep. Best night's rest ever, and went back to mining. And after collecting enough minerals to pay off the United States debt, I finally returned home. After collecting a continent's worth of minerals, I spent this day smelting it all, getting organized, repairing tools, and then continuing on changing my walls around my base. I realized while doing chores though, that I looked like an animal with all my chests in the lobby, so I began to work on a chest room. Can't have people think that I'm the equivalent of a villager. I didn't make the room too massive, so I finished it all this day, but I was running out of the blocks to finish the walls and flooring. So instead of getting more minerals, I went back out, and off to a great start. I don't see anything wrong.
Hey, do you have games on your phone?
Go away, you little gremlin. Then I found a building that I did an air punch at. I only used like 0.3% of my power, and once I entered it, nothing bad happened. It was really boring and innocent in there. I don't even think there was one enemy. I kept on pushing through and found a new area. I didn't think that it was possible to not snow in the city. I found a triple notch zombie again, but couldn't actually find them. I think they're ghosts. Kept exploring the city, and for once, I had to cool down and wait in water. So there I was, exploring the city, and I met up with the boys. They wanted to fight something in the ground, so I was trying to help them out. But the turbo tubbies wouldn't get out of my way, and I accidentally hit one of them with my pick. They can two-shot me, so I quickly escaped the place and went to heal. But more importantly, look at how fluffy and pretty the clouds are. Beautiful. But of course, it couldn't stop there. I found a troglodyte that could also two-shot me. I quickly placed water to keep it away while I healed and said hi to him afterwards. I climbed a building to cool down, and because these streets ain't safe for me. But I'm too good to hide, so I went straight back down and used the boys to my advantage. I kept on opening up buildings and sending them inside and watching work get done. I felt like a mob boss. It was kind of fun. And the remainder of the day was just spent trying to cool down and loot stuff. My inventory was full, and I found this underground railroad track. I was curious if all railroads linked up to each other, so I explored it and ran back to my home coordinates. And to my surprise, the railroad track leads straight to my front door, so now I can explore the entire map very fast. After admiring my collection of cats, I tended to my tree farm. I need to stay on top of wood because I use a lot of torches, but now I'm almost out of coal. So I began my third mine shaft to find some and was welcomed with open bones from a skeleton. Of course, I dug into a cave again, and look at all these ores. So I got straight to work and collected andesite for building. And it continued today as well. I want to collect enough granite and andesite so I don't have to go and collect more for the rest of the movie. I collected around 5 stacks of granite. I'm also skipping iron now since I have so much of it and it's more common than cobblestone. But I did finally get some coal. And I was really cracked this day. So many minerals to mine in, I spent the entire day trying to collect it all. And now to smelt everything and organize my massive amount of wealth that I acquired faster than Elon Musk. I'm also beginning to build my Spartan armor from my favorite game Halo, bless up. But the recipe wouldn't work for me. I was doing it all correctly, so I hit up Sierra to fix it. And luckily it worked today. I made a Spartan helmet and you have no idea how excited and happy I was to be making Spartan armor. After that I made the chest plate, which looks absolutely awesome, and the little booties. But I didn't see any Spartan leggings. Apparently the chest plate is also the leggings, so I kept my iron armor on for even more protection, because why not? I began to craft a gun I want and also turn off the shaders because they were lagging my computer really badly for some reason, and said hi to some communists outside my base. To craft the gun, I need slime balls though, and I ran out of glass to make slime balls. It's a long story. I was traveling underground but got ambushed by a large horde of zombies. Wasn't even close. I'm too cracked. I made it to an area that had these sand pillar tower construction things and used an alpha male technique to mine it. I had to burn myself at the stake again to keep warm because my multi-billion-dollar suit can't do it for some reason. After a little bit, I waddled back home and tended to my crops while the sand cooked. I made the bottles and it was time to make some slime balls, except I ran out of bone meal now and I need a lot more slime balls. So it was time to go hunting, and I had a very pleasant surprise. With this armor on, I don't take damage at all. The blue bar at the top, the energy shield, those take the brunt of all attacks. So I never actually lose health until it drops to 0. And once I leave battle, it recharges instantly to full. Very fun, I loved this. So I just fought this entire day. And after acquiring a lot more materials for the gun, I just crafted this entire day. Nothing exciting. And just like clockwork, it's back to farming for more bones. I'm really happy that there's a spawner about 30 blocks away from my base. And it felt like I was Kratos from God of War, just constantly fighting and having intense battles. Absolutely loved it, and I returned home without a scratch. Wasn't even close. I'm nearly done crafting my Rudy Tooty point and shooty, but I still need more bones. So off to where I go. Again, I found a new dungeon area that I haven't been in yet, and just look, this place was intense and insanely fun to play in. Dozens of mobs in each room, and my energy shield luckily never ran out. Maybe the skeleton should have brought a gun to a super soldier fight instead of a bow. SMH my head. And finally, after days of work, I finally crafted the Hard 27. And my word, it looks amazing. I'm reliving my childhood dream of seeing myself as a Spartan with an overpowered rifle in a video game. Now for the fun part. I could not figure out, for the life of me, on how to reload. I couldn't load bullets into a magazine or a drum. I couldn't load the bullet straight into the gun. I spent this entire day trying to figure this out. Super fun. And after an hour of research, no, seriously, I just had to change the button to reload. I didn't even need to make the magazine or drum. But hey, at least I can finally reload and use this bad boy Halo gun. So it's finally time to go out and test it out. And this monster can say hi to a zombie in 2 bullets. I'm in heaven. So I just ran around the city looting and putting Post Malone's album around me to warm up. I was getting lonely, so I worked on a little hut for a friend to live in. I had to trap it inside until I got glass set up. So I worked on a trap that would hold it in as soon as it walked over a pressure plate. And with the trap set, I went and gathered a friend. He fell into a trap and I named a name tag OMG please subscribe. I named him it, and he seemed happy. His hands were up in the air with joy. After that fun adventure, I went out to hunt down some flowers and ink sacks for some dyes for the windows. And with the pretty windows done, it was time to finish OMG please subscribe's room. He still didn't put his arms down, so I guess he really loved his name. I had to remove the center line of glass panes because they covered his perfect little sellout name, and I couldn't have that. Afterwards, I did my chores and began moving all of my chest and other items to the chest room, finally. And after working for the entire day, I finished moving everything to the chest room, and I like how clean it looks. To relax, I went and said hi to my little sellout. This entire time, I've been sleeping in my lobby like a nerd. It's about time I build my own bedroom. I can't have y'all thinking that I'm some sort of peasant or something. So I used my fancy blocks and splurged a little bit on the room. I finished constructing it all today, and I liked how it turned out. But I wanted to have 2 red beds in the center, so I went out to hunt down some more red dyes. And wanted to get cheeky and said hi to one of the survivors, who I'm pretty sure is just an iron golem. I fell asleep in the streets, said hi to a freak, and returned home with tired feet. I placed my last red bed that I needed and my bedroom was complete. I returned back to one of my dozen mines to continue collecting uranium copper for my bullets. I run through those like they're nothing, and I want to have a big war soon. And like a high school boys locker room, the grind don't stop there. I went back to mining, but I kept on only finding cobblestone. So I went back to my lower lobby area and began a new mine shaft, and immediately found sulfur right away. I'm liking this new mine shaft already. Like all my other mine shafts, I ran into a cave system that also led to a ravine in here. I was minding my business and mining until some glizzy gobblers came by and I said hi to them. After that encounter, I collected an unhealthy amount of minerals until I ran out of torches, and had to return home to my little sellout. You'll never guess what I did next. I returned to the cave system, and while I was looking for ores, I found this poor defenseless old man that was stuck. So like any non-psychopathic kind citizen, I went over to the old man and gave him a helping hand. I'm so kind. After that, I went back to mining, and then the skeleton nerd decided to scare 8 years off of my life. As payback, I went and said hello to his massive group of friends. I just wanted to share the kind gesture around. But the skeleton came back and brought a bow to a Har 27 fight. Not too smart. I was back at base, had to get more tools, and empty my inventory. I said hi to OMG please subscribe, and went back to the mines. Silly little Brian brought a bow to a gunfight again. I guess he'll never learn. And just like in kindergarten, I spent the day in the mines collecting more ores. I was a nosy little booger this day and found a hidden cave system. Noticed some water and wanted to go plug it up. Until I found out that it was from the Inn Fortress's fountain. I somehow managed to randomly find the Inn Fortress without trying to find it. I waddled around and found the portal room. First try, for once. Said hi to a rat, and I only need 11 eyes of Ender to make it. Except, I've never seen an Enderman in this world. I looked around a tiny bit more, but left, since this place is useless to me, and went back to chatting with Brian and mining a lot of ores. Strip mine, made more torches, and got back to strip mining. Fun day. I finally said no to Big Brother, said hi to OMG please subscribe, got prepared, and headed out to fight some commies. I found their base. As any commie would, they were just sitting in there in suits and with the lights off. Kinda reminds me of me, but not really me. Found their amazing loot. Wait, what? Nothing? So who here is hiding their own loot that I'm trying to take without asking? Said hi to a homie in a store and found something that I didn't think existed. A disc, other than cat. I went and burnt myself at the stake again, and some commie-loving red fellows came to me. Close fight. They killed my vibe, so I went to a different location to continue burning myself. Hypothermia who? I missed my survivor friends and wanted to go say hi to them in the desert city. I took the railroad tracks there since it'll keep me warm and they're faster. Said hi to the Flash's skeleton and found a skeleton spawner in the railroad system. With some okay loot from each chest. I'm going to have a super fun time returning home. This'll be good. Then I found this random room in the wall and went inside to find a treasure room with 3 spawners. I didn't take anything, don't worry. That would be rude. Enough being Indiana Jones. I got back to the railroad system and kept on walking. I made it into the city and said hi to a child without missing any shots at all. I got some wood and made a minecart for the ride back. And found the gathering place for all of the men in the city. Felt safe here. There was a building with a spawner in it right next to all of us, so of course, I had to be myself and open the building up so the enemies would spawn on the city floor so the boys would have some action. I couldn't help myself. Since my inventory is completely full, it's time to ride back home. This adventure felt like a minigame. I absolutely loved it. And I made it back home in like 3 minutes. Way better than running. With my surplus of diamonds, I finally made some new leggings that would fit my armor a tad bit more. We bussin'. My music disc collection is coming along nicely. Got organized, made an ungodly amount of ammo, and noticed that OMG please subscribe is getting lonely. So it's time to get another buddy in the family. Unluckily, he's getting a little brother, but I pulled 2 gremlins somehow. I don't really know what happened to the other one. I think he went back outside. I hope he's safe. I got the little bro into his new suite, but of course, it couldn't be easy. No. It had to be an entire Three Stooges adventure. The next fun part came with the glass. Since he could jump through 1-block openings, this was gonna be tricky. So I gave him the old 1-2 and pushed him back into purgatory. I hope Sellout appreciates this. I named the gremlin something amazing. He loved his name so much that he gave me a high five. Another happy customer. It's time for some more smoke, so I went outside and said hi to a kid, and some other things. I'm not picky, everyone gets a welcome from me. I then put some Lil Uzi Vert music around me to warm up, but I'm getting tired of the cold, so I returned back to base for a minecart and tended to my farm for the remainder of the day since it's almost over. The sun rose up and I chose to go vroom vroom in the railroads. I traveled 1,000 blocks in no time and Santa helped me get out of my cart. So kind. I met up with the boys who were still enjoying the enemies luckily. I did a trust fall and went exploring the city. Hopefully California is better than New York. While exploring, I met up with an old homie, but he was looking at me funny so I said what's up to him. I also found out that I can go Rudy Tooty on glass and did an FBI entrance on this zombie. I found a railroad to travel through the city so I would stop catching on fire, and I found a Herobrine zombie. No way I'm letting it touch me or mess with me. Then saw this weird little chicken gremlin behind me. After that, I found an exit and went back into the city and kept on exploring. Then I played hide and seek with a troglodyte and found another rare chicken boy, and cooled off while watching the sunset. I found an entrance and had to leave. I have 8 bullets to make it back home, and used them all up right at the beginning. For Zombie Apocalypse, I was finding a ton of skeletons in this railroad system. Then I had 2 flash skeletons come after me. I got back into my cart, but so did one of them. He didn't even ask, but I made it back home safely and immediately went to my boys. I could tell we all missed each other, and I admired all of my taken without asking iron anvils that I've acquired over 86 days. With the 100 days almost over, I want to travel out really far and see if there's an end to the city. I went to the railroad system and was going to travel 5,000 blocks straight. I say was going to because while I was riding, the railroad got interrupted by a lava pool and I lost my minecart in it. Yay. I immediately fixed the road and went to mining for iron. I just needed 5 to continue my travels. With my luck, I found a cave. I quickly got some iron and returned to the railroads. Next issue, I need wood for a crafting table. I went upstairs and saw a homie stuck in leaves somehow. I said hi to him and got some iron. After that, I made 2 minecarts so I wouldn't run into this issue again, and went back to traveling. Also, found this really cool water block glitch. I finally made it 5,000 blocks away from of my house and began to climb up 30 flights of stairs. I didn't want to lose this entrance, so I made a luxurious tower out of gray diamonds. And the city is sadly exactly like the rest. Nothing changed, and I didn't reach the end of the city. But coming this far, I'll explore this place before returning home. And right away, first thing I see in this city is an Enderman. I didn't think that these bad boys were in this world. But of course, he didn't drop an ender pearl when I said hi to him. I saw the locals in their natural habitat and then found the mass gathering of the boys. Weirdly enough, this city has an abandoned mine shaft through their buildings. No wonder it didn't work. You're not supposed to build skyscrapers through tunnels and pockets of air. Also, their doors are weird. I tried to steal this anvil, and then the owner, who was too young to be a blacksmith, didn't appreciate that I was taking it without asking. I had to waterboard myself because apparently 140 degrees is too hot to survive in. And then waterboarded my way up a building to spot the next group of buildings I'll explore before the ride home. As soon as I entered the building, it was immediately fighting time. Every single floor of this building had either 6 enemies to over a dozen. Then I climbed down the ladder, and thank you, Jeb, for this armor. I played with them instead of using the gun, because why not? Until the fire came into play. My armor won't protect me from that, so I quickly ran out of the building and made my way back to the railroad system. It's time to return home. I have something super important I need to do. Except, to even my surprise, I found 2 notch zombies on the railroad. If I wasn't wearing my armor, I'd be dead. The shields took all the damage for me. It's safe to say, after that, I was on very high alert. Almost back home now, and it was going smoothly, until I found more unicorns. 2 more endermen. I said hi to the first one, but he didn't drop an ender pearl too. So, I said hi to the second one, and he also didn't drop an ender pearl. I can't have anything nice in this world. And after a long day of traveling, I made it back home safely and went straight to my little sellouts. I could tell they all missed me. I admired my anvil collection again, and spent the day refilling my items and getting organized. And after 92 days, I finally made my first diamond pick, since diamonds are super rare and the movie is almost over. I figured, why not? I'll be using a lot of picks now because my house is feeling super lonely, and I really want a bigger family in here. So, as any sane person would do during a zombie apocalypse, I'm making a zombie museum home. Now, don't freak out. I know, it's crazy with how generous I am with making sure this family isn't lonely in this home anymore. I wear my own heart on my sleeve. The walls are nearly done luckily, and I need this place to look beautiful and be big. I'm going to make about 10 rooms with at least 1 zombie in each one. I want to use up all the name tags I've collected, and I want one last project to finish off this movie. Nothing else to add, and I just worked on the floor and ceiling today. And with absolutely no time to spare, I finished every single room in the Zombie Museum Hotel. And my word, are they living fancy in here. Such massive rooms. And it's finally time to get some more residents to be a part of the family. Not you. Alright, you look cool enough. So I let him in with some free candy and trapped him totally not against his will in the first room. And he seemed super happy and willing to get his new name, Sky's Subscriber. I had to handhold the second guy in, and he went in without a problem. I named him Please Subscribe. The next residents I freed from an evil wizard's trap and named them Give Sky Subs and Henry. It seemed fitting. It's still a definite no to you and your brother. I don't feel like making a special room for you guys. I was going to get this one zombie, but his 2 homie G-Dogs came in too, and I just couldn't say no. So I trapped them all together and named them Sub to Skies, OMG Subscribe, and Charlie. I said no. And got a special lady friend to come into the housing units as well, and named her Subscribe to Skies. Her brother heard of her mansion, and I brought him in as well. I named him Buy My Merch. And to finish off the day, I captured 2 more and named them Like the Video and Gimme Subs. All very fitting names. I had to bribe this guy with free subscribers, so I named him Begging to Sub. And the Zombie Museum is almost done. Nearly there. This one is very special to me. I chose a very specific name for her. Sleep. Something I never get. Felt fitting. And finally, I got the last zombie that I needed. And his name is Sky's 1 million subs. Had to name the last one my dream. And here's all the zombies in their own rooms. Such a beautiful place. After that fun project, I went and got prepared for day 100. I had a lot of ammo and I want to have a nice war to finish this movie off. Except, when I went out there, I don't know if I caught all the zombies in the city or if they were playing peekaboo on me. But I couldn't find anyone at all. It must have been my muscles that scared them off. So I laid waste to a forest and enjoyed the warmth. But after running 3 marathons, I found some survivors and decided to say hi to them all. Also said hi to some innocent animals because I'm vegan. Okay, not really, quite opposite. I went through a quick basement and said hi to some old friends and returned to my first home. Felt fitting to end the movie here. I cleared a wall out of the house so I could see the sunset and shot up some old buildings since I still had a lot of bullets left, and then watched the sunset for tradition. And I survived 100 days in a zombie apocalypse. I hope you all enjoyed my movie and the adventure I went on. This video took me around 130 hours to film and edit. It would mean a lot to me if you subscribed and left a like on the video if you enjoyed. Don't forget, you only have 1 week to buy my limited edition merch, and then it's gone forever. Thank you all for watching, and I hope I entertained everyone. I'll see you all in the next 100 Days movie.